Okay, so now let's talk about some more string methods. So far we've talked about quite a number, but we're just going to talk about some more. So if I have my regular string, my hello world string, and yes, we know that this is a string. So what else can I do with this string? So I'm just going to put the print function, and inside of it, I'll put the different methods. So for one, I want to tell if the string is maybe all lowercase. So we have is lower, for example. So I'm just going to put the variable name first, dot is lower, right? This is the method here. So is it lower? That's what I'm basically asking, this string that we have here. So it should give me either true or false, which stands for either yes or no. So if I run the code, it then gives me true because everything is all lower cased, right? If I change this to is upper, for example, and I run it, you can see that it gives me false because it's not capital letters in any way. So if I take it back to is lower and I maybe make one of them capital letter and I run the code, you can see that it's false because every single thing has to be capital letter. So this is kind of different from the lower method where we're just telling it to tell us or to give us the version of the string in lower form. That's a bit different. Now you're adding is to it. You're sort of asking a question, is lower, like is it lower? So in that case, your code is going to tell you if it is or it isn't with your true or false. So that's where we have the is lower or is upper property. We also have the strip method, and the strip method is also commonly used. So for example, you have white spaces all around it, right? If I then decide to print A, you're going to notice that it's going to have this space here automatically. For whatever reason, you have space in your code and you want to get rid of it, all you need to do is just add your strip method. So here, and it's going to get rid of all the white spaces before and after your string. So you can see it's taking it back to the original position. So that's where we have the strip method being used quite a lot. So we also have starts with and ends with. So for example, you want to know if something starts with a particular, so let me just put here, instead of is lower, we'll just put starts with. Okay, that's a method. And then you want to put, you're asking if it starts with H, for example. And when you run your code, you see false because it's actually starting with a space. So let's get rid of this space and run the code again. And you can see now it's telling me true. So let's get rid of this strip so we don't get confused. Let's delete this and rerun it. So you can see that here it shows me true because it starts with H. Now it ends with, if I put a different letter, let's say I, and I run the code, you see false. So we also have the same way we have starts with, we also have ends with. All right, and ends with I should give me false, ends with a space, of course, here. So let's get rid of the space as well. So ends with D should give me true. So you can see that we have true in the terminal as well. So this is your ends with and your starts with. These are popularly used. We also have the replace method. So for example, I could just take all this off and put replace. So what I could say is replace all the letter H in my code, right, with, so I have to put two arguments, two things inside my bracket. So what I want to change and what I want to change it to. So let's say H to J. And if I run the code, you can see it gives me Jello World. Now notice that it's actually very case sensitive. So if I change this to capital letter H and I run my code, it's still going to be hello world because what I said is all the capital letters, all the small letter H, I want to change it to small letter J. So it's very case sensitive. Those are things that we should pay attention to. So I'll see you on the next one.